to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we have a Walking Dead video for you. With all the spin-offs happening, does The Walking Dead need a movie for a proper and true ending?
Ooh, that is a good question. That is what we're talking about today. This is from an article from Screen Rant, and the writer gives some pretty good points. So we're going to go over what he said. We're going to give our opinions on this. Once again, definitely comment below about your thoughts. So, summary of this article. Despite the spin-off series, a movie is still needed to properly conclude the Walking Dead franchise and tie together all the different narratives. A movie would be the best way to give Rick Grimes a chance to reunite with his friends and take on a final opponent like the CRM, providing a definitive ending to the long-term story of The Walking Dead. Very interesting. We got two kind of quotations here. I'll read one. Josh will read one.
Sure.
How about that?
Yep.
All right. So we start off with, quote, with the spin-off shows furthering The Walking Dead story, a movie allows the perfect opportunity to tie all these different narratives together. While The Walking Dead spin-offs resolve unfinished character stories from the main series, they don't create a realistic opportunity to overlap whilst simultaneously telling their own story. Although Daryl Dixon may find out what happened to Rick in his show, the chances of a reunion seem slim as long as The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon and the ones who live are still active. With Daryl Dixon Season 2 already confirmed, the spin-off shows look likely to focus on their own stories with multiple seasons targeted. That is true. I mean, they've mentioned that these spin-offs are going to be their own stories. We really don't know their plan, their kind of Marvel Universe phases plan.
I don't think there is
The Walking Dead.
I don't think there is.
I don't really think there is, but I do kind of get what he's saying. Is it would be cool to have one final movie to just bring everyone together for a final conflict. We get the reunions we wanted, and kind of marinate all the stories together. Because from our previous video talking about should include more of the CRM. The Ones Who Live is going to be heavy with the CRM, so why not bring that back to the fold with the rest of the group and have like a big one last
and I
thing.
get what he's saying here. Like, he uses the example of the Daryl Dixon series, and he's saying while Daryl might find out that Rick's back, like the true scene of reuniting and seeing that is not possible because where Daryl's at, and obviously that makes sense. And I don't even know if he would find out. Honestly, but regardless, like there's also the timeline, right? Like, I would think we were talking about this before. If we want a reuniting scene, like especially with Daryl, but I don't see it possible because let's just assume that you're going to give a 2-year time skip for the Rick and Michonne series, right? Well, now you've only got 2 years worth of material for Daryl, and they're not going to do that. They might want a multi-year deal. Might be a multi-season thing, multi-year,
we don't know
timeline.
We know there's 2 seasons, but we don't know the time frame of, how long his journey is going to take to get him back.
Yeah, so a movie, obviously you have a bigger time skip or whatever.
Right.
But I think it fits.
I think it fits. Yeah.
More Walking Dead.
More Walking Dead. Exactly. All right. Hit this next quote up.
So a movie gives the perfect platform to bring these characters together one last time, as well as characters from the main series to wrap up any ongoing stories. Development of the Commonwealth in the spin-offs remain uncertain, but it's almost guaranteed that more information about the CRM will be revealed. The potential movie could focus on the characters reuniting to take on the CRM after Daryl's European adventure is finished and Maggie and Negan have settled their business in New York. This would set up The Walking Dead for one last final arc in the form of a feature-length film. That actually sounds really awesome.
It sounds really good. Yeah. So one thing to make note, guys, there have been many TV shows that have concluded their storylines in feature film. We're just going to mention a couple here. Breaking Bad finished in the movie El Camino. The X-Files did one. Firefly, Entourage. There's many more, right? Now, not that all the movies were great. The Entourage movie was okay. It cleaned up some storylines. It helped finish some stuff.
I loved El Camino.
Did you like El Camino?
I loved El Camino.
I never finished Breaking Bad, but I heard it was good.
I think it got mixed reviews, but I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And some people will say, well, that's not really the conclusion. There's also the follow-up spin-off show of Better Call Saul.
Yeah, true.
But,
yeah,
I mean...
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. X-Files, X-Files was okay. Nothing crazy. But the reason that we're talking about this and the reason the writer is thinking about this is that the things that we didn't get in the main show, because the showrunner, Scott Gimple, said that the end of The Walking Dead, even Angela Kang said it was going to be a definitive ending, right? Remember they said that multiple times?
And it was not a definitive ending.
It was not a definitive ending.
No.
Why? Because Rick Grimes didn't come back, and now we're getting spin-offs.
But it wasn't just about Rick Grimes, too.
Right.
It was, hey, we're sending Daryl off on this mission. We don't know where he's going.
Yeah.
It was, Judith not reuniting with her father and mother.
Yeah.
Maggie and Negan were. You could kind of make that. You could
kind of say that
was closed out.
Yeah, they had kind of a definitive ending because Dead City took place like 2 years later, but they're just telling these side stories or whatever.
Yeah.
But the movie would make sense because it could help to bring in all the other characters that we want to see like one last time. It might be hard for them to do a show about it, but let's get a feature film where we can bring everyone together, have a final just badass time together, fight the CRM, because again, think about this. In The Ones Who Live, when Rick and Michonne are going to escape, you think the CRM isn't going to come after them?
Yeah.
Make the CRM come after them, follow them back home. Maybe there's still some sleeper cells from the old Commonwealth that contact them, and they have just boom, final battle.
I think I said that in one of the videos that we did. Is that the one that we're redoing?
Probably. Yeah.
But anyway, I think I said I don't think it ends with Rick just having a happy ending coming back to Alexandria or Commonwealth, right? The CRM is, maybe going to let him go just so that they could get back to these communities. And we know what the CRM does. They wipe communities out.
They wipe them out.
So,
yeah. I mean, so what do you think? Would you be for a feature film to make it end, or do you think they'll do it in these spin-offs?
I don't see it fitting in the spin-offs. Again, the timeline right now to me doesn't make sense because Michonne's out there, right? At the end of the main show.
Well, she was out there since her last episode was. Her last episode was in season 10.
Our season, what do they call it? Cliffhanger. Or our credit scene.
Yeah.
Was
post-credit. That was another year later.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah. The post-credit scene that we got at the end of the series. You're talking about when they were together.
When who is together?
So at the end of the series, when we
Rick and Michonne are not together,
right? So, but I meant at the end of the series when we were seeing kind of the happy endings with people in the Commonwealth. That was actually they pushed another year ahead. I'm talking about Rick a year ahead after that. Yeah. So we don't know where in the timeline the Rick and Michonne series is going to kind of start to where it ends to where they end either after season 1 or season 2 or however long it's going to be.
It's got to be shortly after. But guess what? At the same time that's happening, Daryl's in France.
Yes. And they're doing another season 2 of Dead City. And they've already jumped 2 years for that show. So I get what you're saying.
Has Rick already returned?
Oh, you're talking about... So you're thinking after Dead City, it's been 2 years, maybe in that timeline
Has
he's already...
Rick returned in those 2 years?
Yeah.
And here's my question. Would Maggie go to Negan or would Maggie go to Rick?
Yeah. I get, yeah. Well, she had to go to Negan for her purpose in season 1. Anyway.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
But I would think she'd go to Rick too.
Right. But I absolutely get what you're saying is that they're going to have to... With all these spin-offs, if they're going to make...
They've effed around too much.
Whatever show we're going to have a reunion on, if we get a reunion at all, let's say we're going to get it mostly at the end of, the Ones Who Live. Yeah, what's the timeline going to be? What time jump are we doing? But that's the thing with a feature film is you could be done with those storylines and you could beef up the timeline to where it would fit to where it would all be in the feature film.
Man,
It'd be I wouldn't say it'd be tough, but
how much time are you skipping for that?
I don't know. I mean, Rick
And
has
how
already
old
been
is
gone.
Rick?
Rick's already been gone 10 years.
And how old is Rick?
Yeah.
Are you going to have him pushing 60?
We're going to see old man Rick by the time he comes back.
But you're going to see old man Morgan.
Yeah, that's another thing we've kind of forgot to talk about. So at the end of not at the end of Fear the Walking Dead, but in Morgan's final episode of Fear the Walking Dead, those who don't know, Morgan leaves Fear the Walking Dead and he gets on a radio saying that, hey, Rick Grimes, I'm going to come look for you.
This message is for Rick Grimes. It's Morgan Jones. Man, I'm going to come and look for you, whether you're at Alexandria or not.
Now, Fear the Walking Dead Season 8 is currently about a year and a half behind the end of the final series of The Walking Dead.
So it's got a good 3 to 4 years to catch up.
I would love to... I mean, a lot of fans want to see Rick and Morgan reunite as well. Like, don't give us that Morgan's going to go look for Rick and then we never see it. I mean, I don't want to use my imagination. Yeah. I want to see it. But, I mean, I agree with you. I think the timeline, I think it's going to be all jacked up.
I just don't see it happening. That's what we've argued about all along is with this Rick and Michonne series. I don't see a reunite.
Not the one we want.
Unless they do a time skip.
Yeah.
Unless they do a time skip within that shows Daryl coming home. Dude, that'd be sweet. That'd be sweet if Daryl comes home and he opens the gates and it's Rick opening the gates.
See, that's the reunion I've always wanted, is kind of like showing Rick and Michonne walking to the gates of Alexandria. Now, they could change it to the Commonwealth, but I would love to see it more in Alexandria. They open the gates.
Flip it for Daryl returning.
You see Judith and RJ running and everyone just coming out. It would be sweet, but... Yeah. I do like the idea that the writer is proposing about a feature film, and that would bring a lot of the fans that have wanted to see, in a sense, Commonwealth versus CRM. But CRM, like we said in our video before, they're the big villain, and they should be. And that's why they should involve more of the CRM because of that. And the feature film would allow that to happen, to where everyone's back, the CRM is now coming for Rick, and they just battle it all out.
Would be awesome is...
the movie won't come out until 2040.
Be awesome, yeah. It'd be awesome if the movie was Rick knows the secrets of CRM as far as the cure, and them wanting to use the cure as a weapon, annihilating communities. He gets out, he escapes. We, in the meantime, find out that CRM is the main purpose in France of killing scientists because they want the cure. Mm-hmm.
And maybe Daryl brings a vial back from France.
Rick finds out that Daryl's there and goes after CRM and to get Daryl. Ooh, that's a movie.
That'd be
boom.
Cool.
No, I'm joking. It's probably who knows? It's a mess. But
yeah, it's I just can't. I agree with you. I can't get the timeline out of my head. It's all messed up right now.
But it makes it exciting, though.
It makes it exciting.
I'm excited to see what they do with the Rick and Michonne series.
Yeah. So what do you think? And question for you guys as well. What do you think the Walking Dead franchise is wanting to do? Like, what do you think their end game is? Their phases.
You said it in your sentence. Endgame.
Endgame.
Like,
would that be the feature film? Would be the endgame?
I think they envisioned something that did not turn out well for them. Like, meaning, I thought I get the impression they thought World Beyond would be a lot bigger than what it was.
They made it limited for they came out in the beginning and said this is limited. That's it. 2 seasons.
I know, but I think they suspected that to springboard into the movies, maybe.
Oh, yes. I knew it. Yeah, for the Rick movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was so much in that series.
There was.
That's just dropped. They're not using anything of it. There's been nothing.
Right. You are absolutely right. Might be another video we can talk about, but it does seem like World Beyond is kind of just lost. Only except... really for the post-credit scene, which we might be getting into, but
absolutely,
I do think World Beyond is more of a lost spin-off that nobody really talks about.
That was supposed to be, in my opinion, this big CRM reveal, and it was.
It was. We
You
were in the CRM for 20 episodes.
And I just expected that to spawn off into something bigger with the CRM. Bring Rick back in. CRM now against our communities,
Well, especially with Jadis being there.
Yeah, and this all-out, just not war, but like,
right?
It could have been
just a conflict.
Yeah,
just a big conflict. Yeah, I agree with you. I think,
like, you could have even had something like where our survivors find out about Portland and bring Portland into the mix.
That'd be cool.
Then you have a big enough community to fight the CRM.
Yeah,
and
keep in mind, Civic Republic.
That's where I was just going.
Keep
in mind, that's only the military.
Yeah,
we haven't even touched the Civic Republic side of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, that might be a good conversation for another video. We've talked about it a little bit, but that is a good point about World Beyond. So let us know your thoughts, guys. Do you think the end game of the overall plan, the phases for the franchise and spinoff, should it end with a feature film movie to bring all the stories together, to bring our characters back, to make one final conflict against the CRM so our characters can live peacefully, maybe with a cure for the rest of their lives?
A movie's the way to do that.
Or do you think that they'll decently do it in all the spin-offs, or maybe one, like The Ones Who Live, and kind of like we said, Rick and Michonne return, they open the gates, we'll see Daryl, he's back now. Maybe we'll see Negan in the corner with a little smirk, and Rick's looking at him like, "What's up, dude?" Judith and RJ, of course, and Michonne. It's, I mean, you guys know we want the reunions. And Morgan, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We want it all. So, yeah, let us know your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more on these theories and ideas, because we have more, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to let you know. All right, guys, I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.